Guys, this is an awesome card trick that you can do with any deck of cards. It is a borrowed deck. There is no setup whatsoever. People will be blown away. They will want to befriend you. You will be invited to fancy parties with beautiful people who will want to marry you. Let's get into it. Before we start, I'm going to remove two cards that are going to be very special, and we're going to get back to these in a little while. I'll place them right there for now. But you can get the rest of the deck shuffled up by the spectator. They can mix these as much as they want, and you're actually going to get two cards chosen. So you can have two different people, or you can just have one spectator choose two cards. We're going to go randomly here. Now, you wouldn't see these cards, but obviously you guys need to follow the trick. So, ace and two. That was super easy. So you're going to get the two cards picked like this, and then you're going to get them lost literally anywhere in the deck. So you take the first spectator's card, like this, and that goes somewhere into the center of the pack. And that is lost and shuffled. So this is a really, really good mix as well. So that is lost somewhere in the pack now. And then we're going to do the same with the second card as well. So again, it's going to be placed somewhere in there like so, genuinely lost in the deck. And these are also given a really good mix. Here's the crazy part. You spread the cards out like so, and you're going to say to both spectators, I want you to place these cards into the pack wherever you'd like. You're going to place this card somewhere in the bottom section and this card somewhere in the top section, and I'll tell you why in a second. So the first spectator has a free choice. They can literally put that card anywhere they'd like, and then the second spectator does the same over here, like so. They have a completely free choice of where they put the cards. Now, for the first time, you're going to reveal these cards, and actually you find that they are very, very strange cards, because they're not playing cards, they have these markings on, like so. But here's the crazy bit. If we spread the cards out like so, okay, and we go to these cards, so we just find them like so. This is the first one over here, and this is the second one over here. Now remember, they had a completely free choice of where they put the cards, but you see this has a 5 and an arrow this way. If we were to count 5 cards, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5th card here. And we're going to do the same over here. So that's, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th card over here. You'll find that each and every single time, these are the 2 selections. This works every single time. It is such a commercial trick, guys. Borrowed shuffle deck of cards. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how's it going? So this is an awesome trick. I love this because it's a borrowed shuffle deck. There's no setup, and I think it's super commercial as well. And with this one, I feel like there's loads of scope for improvements and ideas and all of that stuff. So there's tons of ideas. I've not put them in this video. I want you to come up with them, and I want you to put them in the comments section down below. So what variations can you come up with? What ideas have you got? Show me what you've got. Pop them in the comments section, and let's have a bit of a brainstorm. It's going to be awesome. Guys, if you like the video, don't forget, smash the like button. And if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. We do new videos every single week, and you don't want to miss tricks like this. Also, if you're enjoying what I do here on the channel, then you're going to love this. This is a brand new thing I've just released, the Masterclass Vault. The Masterclass Vault contains recordings of my previous 2 sold out masterclasses. One I did in April and one I did in May. They were live events, both sold out within days of me announcing them, and hundreds of magicians attended. Now, I taught my best, top tier stuff that I don't teach anywhere else. I don't teach it on my YouTube, on this channel. I don't teach it in my courses. In fact, the only time I've ever taught these tricks is in the live stream masterclasses. If you miss them, you can now purchase the recordings. Now, each masterclass is 90 minutes long. It's packed with absolute mind-blowing, I mean, my favorite tricks, my top tier stuff. As well as that, there's a Q&A where people can ask me anything they want, behind the scenes insights, tips and tricks, and is packed full of value. So if you want to learn my best material ever, then you want to grab these masterclasses. And at the moment, if you get both masterclasses, there's a 10% discount. So they have never been at this price before. I'm going to put a link over here. I'll also put one in the description down below. So I will see you in the masterclass. But right now, we're going to crack on with the explanation of this one. Grab a deck of cards. Let's get into it. Are you ready for the explanation? I'm ready. Okay, let's do it. Alright guys, so this is the POV explanation for this trick. I think you're really going to like this one. This is super commercial. It was originally a trick by Steve Beam. I did a few things to it to make it a little bit easier and to make it a little bit more commercial. So for this, you're going to make up these two cards. You just blank face cards and you do a 5 on each card and then an arrow left and right. You don't have to do this, and stick around until the end because I'll show you some alternatives. But right now, let's imagine you're going to go with this because I think this really, really sells this. And even if you borrow someone's deck, it doesn't matter. You can still use these cards. Even if they're not the same size, it'll still work. So just grab some of these, well worth it. What you're going to do is you're going to position the cards. So facing you, you're going to put the left one in your left hand, the right one on top, so the arrow is pointing right, and that is the orientation that you need to start the trick. Now, I just started with these on the bottom of the deck, so I just took them off the deck like so, and that way it comes as a surprise later when they're not regular playing cards. I just like doing it that way. But if you turn your hand now with the cards like this face down and pop them off to one side and say, oh, they're two special cards, I'm going to get back to those later. So then they'll be in the right orientation for when you do the secret move later, which is a double prophecy move. It's really cool. So for the rest of the trick now, you can get these cards mixed up. So these are mixed up and shuffled. That was a terrible shuffle. What happened with that? I'm going to do that again. All right, there we go. Right, so shuffled up and you spread the cards out and you have two cards picked. Okay, so they reach in and take two cards like this. And just so you guys can follow along, I will show you. Okay, so imagine we've got 2 of diamonds and king of spades. They're the two selections. What we're going to do is position these cards. As the spectators are looking at the cards, you're going to do a simple move. And all you're going to do is you're going to spread off the top 4 cards, and then you're going to pull them back onto the deck, and you're going to keep the flesh of your little finger. There's a little finger break. So if you're a magician, you know this. If you're not, it's very, very simple. All you're going to do is put the flesh of your little finger, keeping a break at the back of the deck. Now from the front, you can't see it, okay, because your thumb's applying pressure on top. But from the back, you've got this big gap in the back of the deck. Now, traditionally, a finger break would be like this. But in this case, what you're going to do is lift it up so you've got this gap all the way across the back edge. And that is going to allow you to take one of the selections like this and place it inside. When you do this from the front, though, it gives the illusion that the card is going into the center of the deck. Now, this can be enhanced by using the corner of the cards to just push on the center of the pack here, like so. And what that'll do is from the front, that'll disturb a load of cards from the front. And then that way, if you're looking from the front, it'll look like that's going into the center of the deck. So what you're doing is you're placing it in this gap underneath the first top 4 cards of the deck. Okay, so you've positioned that card now 5th from the top. Now you can shuffle the cards. If you can do a riffle shuffle, this is really good because all you're going to do is you're going to retain that top section. So if you riffle the cards like this now, you're going to release these faster. So you're left with a big block over here, like this on your right, and so that falls last. Do a bridge or push them in, and you've still got your selection 5th from the top. Okay, so it's just a nice way to control that. And then you say so, and you can do a cut here as well. If you want a cool false cut, that's really simple to do. You can hold the cards like this in a biddle grip, so with your 2 fingers and thumb, like so. Your first finger is going to reach over here and just lift up a group of cards like this. You're going to clip these in between the wedge of your thumb like this, and then you're going to put these down and these on top. And if you add a little squaring motion like this, so there, little squaring motion, down and down, it's a really convincing false cut. So now you explain the first card has been lost somewhere in the deck. Now you're doing this to actually get a break above the bottom 4 cards. So as you're saying, look, the first selection is lost somewhere in the deck, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the bottom here, okay? I exaggerate this, and I'm doing the same thing again. So I'm going to pull these back like this, and I'm going to put my finger into the flesh above these 4 cards. So as these are squared up now, I'm getting my break. Again, got my little finger break, this time above the bottom 4 cards like this. And again, you can't see this from the front, but from the back, you've got this break. And then you're just going to lift up as you did before, so that now you've got this gap running through the back of the deck. And this is Marlowe's tilt, but it's going to the bottom. So now you show the second selection, and this is placed into that gap. And what I like to do here, guys, is I like to release it like this and then spread these. So from the front, it kind of shows that it's not going near the top. And this is kind of a little magician filler as well. So that's pushed all the way in like that. Again, you can control these two selections. You don't have to do this, but it's a really nice touch. We can do a ruffle, shuffle, and keep both cards in position. And the way we do that is just, again, release half the cards into your hand like this. You're just going to let at least 5 cards fall first. That's where your selection is. So if you let at least 5 cards fall, then that's going to still be on the bottom. And then again, shuffle off and really keep a big block here. Release this on top, bridge, and then it just keeps your selections in position. So you've still got one on the top and you've still got your one under here on the bottom of the pack like so. So it looks like this, looks like a really good shuffle, and it doesn't move those selections. And again, you can put your cut in here that we did before. Nice false cut. All right, so it looks like the 2 selections are genuinely lost in the pack. And then you get to spread these out like so. And this looks so fair at this point because you now, for the first time, introduce these mystery cards. Take this one and slide it over here. And then you'll know that because this is over here and this is over this section, this card needs to go in the bottom section and this card needs to go in the top section. And if you're using the arrow cards, like I told you to make up, that's important. So you get this first spectator to put this card anywhere they want, doesn't matter where. And then your second selection is going to go anywhere near the top half of the pack like so, and you leave them out jogged. That's very important. So now you very carefully square up the cards, leaving those cards out jogged, and you're going to do what's known as a double prophecy move. This is Steve Beam's, I think, as well. The thing that I've done with this is, because these cards are not regular cards and they have interesting markings on the back, it actually provides misdirection, because they're more interested in what the card is than kind of what's going on. They lose track of everything else. So you spread through like this until you get to your first outjogged card. Your right hand now is just going to turn over. So you're going to grab the cards like this and turn your hand over. And then with your thumb, you're just going to clip this card like so, and you're going to flip your hand over like that. And immediately they see this card is a little different. And that's cool because that's going to provide misdirection. They're no longer thinking about where the card is. They're going, ooh, what's that? That'll become important later. Now, you're going to spread all of the cards above this jogged card on top of that pile. So leave this card out jogged, but you're going to spread all of those like so, until you get to your second out jogged card. These all go on top like so. And then you can do the same thing again. So your right hand is going to turn over like this. With your thumb, you're going to clip that card, and then you're going to flip your right hand palm up again, and these are going to go on top. Now, what you've done is you've now just secretly cut the deck twice without them even knowing, because there's huge misdirection with these very odd cards here. Square these cards inside like that, and then do a ribbon spread on the table. So now you've done, that's pretty much it. You reach over and out jog these 2 cards, and you've got this situation, which is really cool. And it's facing them as well, is the why I did it like this, so that it reads well for those, because it's facing the right way for the spectator. And then you say, look at the 5s, look at the arrows, check this out. You could have put these cards anywhere, but if you spread through, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the first selection, which you remember as being the 2. And if you, so it's always up from this one, hence the arrows, and it's always down from this one. So down, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the second selection, which was this one. And you've got a really, really commercial trick. So I love these cards, but if you don't want to use the 5s, you can quite easily just use regular 5s. I'd go in and probably use 2 5s of the same color. So I'd use 2 red 5s in place of these 2 cards. You know, we just use these 2, and that way it doesn't really matter the orientation and which one goes in the top or bottom half of the deck. But I hope you like that one, guys. If you love it, hit the like button. Don't forget to drop me a comment down below. If you've not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. We do new tricks every single week, and if you want a new video, check out the one on the screen. It's going to be great. Thanks a lot, guys. I will see you in the next video.